School started then, and at the end of the first day, there was a race to the back lot to pick up a game of football. Burton lifted Lester's ball over his head. "I'm one quarterback," he hollered. "Clyde will be the other. We'll have 7 on a side. The rest of you sub in when someone gets hurt." Seeing Burton with that ball made Ned boil again. "That's my ball," he muttered to Ralph. "That's Ned's ball," hollered Ralph. "Ned gets to be one of the quarterbacks." "Yeah, it's Ned's ball, Burton," Franklin repeated. "Pick me, Ned." Burton and Clyde ignored them and started choosing players. Ralph shoved Ned toward the middle. "Go on, Ned." Ned hesitated. He wanted to get Burton, but now that Burton was right here in front of him, he tore his eyes away from the football. There were a couple dozen boys, maybe, by the time you added in all the 5th through 7th graders. He was just one of the pack. But Lester had handed him that ball. He had called him a fine player. Ned blew his hair out of his eyes and crossed his arms over his chest. "I'll take Ralph," he said hesitantly. "That a boy," said Ralph. "Johnny," said Ned a little more firmly. "Nope," said Burton. "We get Johnny, and Theo too. There are only 2 teams, Ned. Take your sissy friends and get out of here." Johnny looked from Burton to Ned. He shrugged. "Sorry, Ned," he said, and went to stand with Burton. All the boys except Franklin and Mel edged over to Clyde and Burton. "You got us, Ned," said Franklin. "Me too," said Paul, hustling over to join them. Ned wilted. 5th graders, and scrawny ones at that. "I picked Geo," Ned said with a question mark in his voice. They were all a little bit afraid of Geo. He ran on the fringes of the rowdies, after all. But Ned had spent a day with Geo out at the uncle's farm this summer, and he thought they might be friends. They could use Geo's kind of tough against Burton and Clyde. But Geo waved him off. "Sorry, Ned," he said. "They've got Lester's football." "Scram, Ned," said Burton. "And all the rest of you numbskulls better move back. We got our players. We need room." "Aw, come on," said Geo. "This isn't college. It's for fun. You can add a couple of guys."
"Who needs them anyhow?" said Franklin. "We all saw Ned catch Lester's football. It should be his. Ours. We should have the field. We can pick up our own game. Geo, you can be the other quarterback."
"Yeah," said Mel. "It should be ours. I'll play." A small group gathered around Ned.
"Get out of our way," shouted Burton. "Take your baby games to your mommies."
"There's room for 2 games," said Franklin. "What do you say, Ned? Geo? Fellows?"
The word okay slipped out of Ned's mouth before he could stop it. Franklin was no Johnny, but he did have his paper-and-twine football with him. Ned had one too, but his was at home. Wouldn't it be better to play than not? "Nah," said Geo. Ralph looked between Geo and Ned. "Nah," he said. "Come on, Ralph," said Geo. "Let's go to the pool hall." "Ned, you coming?" said Ralph. Ned hesitated. Some of the boys were drifting off with Franklin. "Maybe I'll play tomorrow," he said, and ran to catch up to Ralph and Geo.